Hello everyone, Attack Power here with a different kind of video. I'm actually going to be doing a game review here of one of my patrons. So if you don't know, on the Patreon, if you subscribe to the higher tiers, I will review your gameplay on, I will review your gameplay in video and give you pointers and tips and coaching all the way through these games. And with permission of my Patreon here, who is Blackjack, he's happy to let me post this on YouTube, since truthfully seeing other people get coaching and stuff is often very helpful. So this is definitely a noob or a newer player based video here. So if you're a new player, definitely stick around. This will probably include lots of good tips and stuff for you. We're going to check out his deck first and go from there. So right now we're seeing him playing 17th SS on Maverick. So very strong division. Definitely nothing wrong with this. We're in the quick play queue. This is an okay division. First looks East. It's not amazing. You're a little short on 2K. You have it, but it's not an abundance per se. But it can still get it done. 17th SS really can function on nearly any map. So diving into this deck build here, my first, right off the bat, just looking at this is not a Maverick deck. He has way too much in C. So like we look at the infantry cards in C phase, you definitely cannot be bringing 2 cards of infantry in C phase in a Maverick deck. It's too much. Really, 1 card is the maximum, and usually you're going to vet that 1 card. It's usually just like rifles, whatever your rifle infantry is. He has very few infantry in B. Plenty in A. A is really nicely built. That's great. B phase infantry, not enough. I'd probably just shift that, take the Sturm Pioneer out altogether, shift that SS Legionati over into B phase. And if he feels like he needs more infantry than that, he can throw another card into B phase, or just shift the Volkdeutsche into B phase as well and have no C phase card. That's an option as well. Recon tab looks fine because the Aufklär are coming in the SPW 222, so that's correct. Tank tab wise, honestly, I would just shift the Stug 4B in the B phase into A phase, so you have 2 cards there. Shift the C phase card into B phase, and potentially, potentially even double vet. Maybe even both of the cards in A, and double vet probably the non-leader variant in B, because remember, you're playing Maverick. You need your units to get lots of value. You need to be able to crush and overwhelm your opponent. Support tab is fine. There's nothing really to do here other than this. You can move things around, maybe put IG-33 in B, but A is perfectly fine too. B does make you wait. The AT tab, yeah, so this Jagdpanzer 4 should almost definitely be in B phase. The Martyr 3, great unit. I honestly never vet it because I want 4 of them. They're that great, but vetting it is perfectly fine as well. No, otherwise, this is fine. Again, I would move the Jagdpanzer 4 into B phase. You really, other than infantry, you don't generally want much in C phase unless you're playing in League or something. You know your opponent's playing a Maverick deck as well, and you know that, like, it's probably going to go long, right, because it's Maverick on Maverick. But going into the quick queue, like going into the queue, basically you need to win fast and hard. Like, you're playing Maverick, you got to win by 25 minutes, 30 minutes in. Generally there's no time limit, so anything after that point, if you're not actively taking down your opponent, you're going to lose. So you need to be winning sooner. So having to wait till C phase to get a unit such as a Jagdpanzer 4, which is an extremely versatile and powerful unit, you don't want to be doing that. AA tab, this is fine. I mean, you could get 88s, but you don't need them. This is functionable, light but functionable. The double cards of Nebelwer for 300 mil, that's too much. You don't need that many. I would just nix the C phase card. It's already 155 points to bring it in B phase. That's almost an entire tick of your income. I don't think, as a Maverick deck, you don't need that many Nebelwerfers. The 122s are kind of meh. I would probably take those out as well. You have the SK18s, 105. That's fine. I would bring in mortars instead of the 122s, specifically the radio mortar. I think there's a mortar half track if you're going to do that. I would 100% bring the radio mortar in instead. It's 105 points. It's 15 points more, and it's a billion times more accurate, more useful, maneuverable, has more. It's just better, faster firing. So yeah, I would probably, take out that C phase card and Nebelwerfers, put in the mortars over the 122s. Even if there isn't a radio mortar, I can't remember honestly right now off the top of my head. Even if there's not a radio mortar, I would probably put regular mortars in over the 122s. I'm not a fan of the 122s at all, especially in low numbers like 122, with only 2 in A phase. Also, with those extra points, you could probably get maybe like the Flak 43 Krupp in the AT tab to give you a little bit more 2K, or you could get an 88 card. you know, those options are there as well. The air tab, this is a little fat, a little chunky for this division, in my opinion. Ju-87 is fantastic. The tank buster, I mean, the Ju-87 bomber. We see pros use these really well. I don't see many new players using these well. I would honestly forego them. They're only useful at the very beginning of the game if your opponent does not deploy A, and if they do, then they're essentially useless. Those 3 points that he's committing there could definitely go somewhere. Like again, like the AT tab, I would much prefer a flak 43 card. No, excuse me, a pack 43 card for the versatility of killing big tanks. Because right now, if he runs into an IS-2 or runs into, you know, even a King Tiger or even an IS-2, he doesn't have a lot here to kill that. Like, he's going to have issues. Even a Panther is going to cause problems, except for the Ju-87. So, going to the queue, you have to focus on flexibility. So, diving in here, game has started. He's deploying pretty lightly over here, and that's fine. The Volkdeutsch is going. I would send something faster. He has Flammenwerfer, so he could definitely have a Flammenwerfer flying out here. This is what I would be doing. And you probably want to deploy to this inner building here instead of the outer building, because then it's going to follow the road in. And instead of this, whatever the heck it's doing here. So we have a Pack 38 going here. That's fine. MG42 going into a weird spot here. Probably just wants to deploy it forward up here. Coming in here, these deployments are fine. Pack 38 going a little too deep. You want to deploy a little further back if your plan is to transport snipe. This is way too far forward. It's going to give, you know, all his vehicles time to get out of the road. Also need to remember to turn off the APCR here on these Pack 38s, because then they won't kill things in one shot. This Volkdeutsche here goes down to his so it's too deep of a deployment. You have to remember what you're going up against here. Now I want to pause this really quick and mention this. So Pack 38 need to turn off the APCR, otherwise it's not one-shotting any transports. It's extremely annoying, but you have to keep on that if you're going to do that. Just deploy it further back, because your goal is basically to block out this part of the map here, not to transport snipe like 2,000 meters up the road, right? It's just to stop it right here. So deploy sooner if your plan is to transport snipe with AT. Deploy it further back so it actually will get the AT snipes. He has these Flammenwerfers. He's only called in one. The whole point of Flammenwerfers, the two-man Flammenwerfers team, are basically for the beginning of the game. If you're not using them in this moment, there's absolutely no reason to have them. That they are not that strong in actual combat ability, so there's not a lot of reason to be calling them in later in the game. This Volkdeutsch is deployed really unnecessarily far back. Like there's really this isn't doing anything. It's going to sit here the entire game doing nothing. Might as well deploy it up here in a more useful position. This Pack 38 is going to a building. It doesn't really work that way. You're going to want to put it in, you know, this forest or something. Now, if he deploys it like here, that makes a little bit more sense, but does leave it vulnerable to the hill over here. All right. This Volkdeutsch coming in is going to a building that has no line of sight on the incoming transport road. So you got to be careful of that as well. Remember this Aufklärer getting caught out here. The SPW 222 going down to this 6-pounder. Okay. He's got it on an attack move, and that's fine. The second this builds up suppression, he's going to want to retreat it back. This Pack 38 is perfectly deployed right now because it's right at the edge. So we can see at the edge of its line of sight is 1,500 meters. So this is a good deployment here of this AT gun. MG42 moving in here. This is a pretty good deployment of this as well. It's got a little extra line of sight, but that is okay. It's not the end of the world there. This leader deploying pretty far back. SPW, you definitely want to deploy like SPW 233s a little bit earlier in the game to take advantage of their pushing ability. This IG-33, not sure where it's going and why. It can't really help cover the hill, so we're definitely seeing a little bit too much deployment in the back lines with units that would be more useful towards the front. Just some things to be mindful of here. There was something important I was trying to remember and now I forgot. So we did see when he's calling in these reinforcements, right? So he's doing the unload at position thing. That's great. Perfect. Definitely want to do that. One thing to be aware of, where you put this circle does matter. So we notice he put one over here. Well, that's really far from the road, which means the transport has to go all the way across here to unload. Instead, if he had unloaded right here on the corner of the building or right here on the edge of the building or something, then this might have actually gotten out because it would have slowed down here and potentially unloaded before it got killed. So something to be aware of, your actual positioning of your unload command does matter. You have to be careful. When you click right on a building, it's going to auto choose a position. So it might choose like the front of the building. And that is a lot of times will get your units killed. So something to be aware of here. All right, let's see. So Pack 38 gets the Wasp there. So nice push here from his opponent, but again, his Pack 38 is deployed in just a weird spot. So now it has to walk out of the building to do anything at all. It's literally trapped inside of these buildings. Like, that's horrible. Like, you don't want it there. It's not doing anything at all. All right, so we see infantry deployed here. Volkdeutsche goes down really fast to the grenade. Brings in a recon now. Especially with slower recons like this, I would say it's better just to bring it in earlier. So you may have noticed here, his units came in with the unload button already on it. I've talked about this in many videos and stuff. You can bring in units with an order pre-programmed by clicking on the unit card up here in the corner and then tapping the hotkey for whatever order, and they'll come in with that order, specifically the unloaded position order. Now, this is once again, like, this is not a good deployment because it has to drive all the way around this forest to get to this. He should just deploy right here on the edge of the forest. If he's going to do this, you might as well just do this instead, because this is the side you want him on anyway to fight. So he's opponent here doing a nice job of deploying the Staghound in a more defense position, although it should probably be a little bit further out. Pack 38 still in an almost useless position here. Now, if this Pack 38 accidentally moves out into a position where it can kill something, that'd be cool. He left the APCR on again. That's definitely bad. You can see it would have killed this if it had not had the APCR on. Martyr 3 gets a nice easy kill there. Killing off this off map would be the greatest thing of all time. Now, Legionati here being used incorrectly. This is a CQC unit. You do not want them moving out in the open like this. You need to move this leader and the CQC unit around the back here where you know it's safer and try to get into the green forest. This is not where you want your CQC stuff. The SPW moving forward is good. The support is perfect. Needs to use his recon units well here because they are his biggest advantage. The Aufklär here is in a terrible position. You don't want it here. You want these Aufklär in positions like this church tower. This is perfect. Over here in this building would be fine as well. If you didn't have the church tower to do basically the same thing, this building would be pretty sufficient. This other side of the hill here would be lovely for an Aufklär. It would give him lots of necessary information that right now the FI-156 is giving. That also, you know, can be easily shot down. So Stormtrooper's going to wipe out this Pack 38. That's obviously not actually defending anything. And now here's the thing. He deployed these Panzergrens back here, and now he's walking them across the open. Like, that's counterintuitive. Might as well have just unloaded them over here in this forest instead. SPW 222. Well, so what took out in the Staghound there? Oh, the Pack 38. Nice. Love Pack 38s. Great weapon. Super efficient. Like an even better version of the 45 mil. But then again, the 45 mil is HE. So yeah, these infantry now falling back. I guess so they don't get shot by the Stuart. JU-87, he can see the Humber, so I'm not sure why he's going after this Stuart. Yes, the Stuart has a 50 cal. It's annoying, sure, but the Humber is a lot more dangerous with its AP, HE autocannon. So, and what he should do with this is queue up. So you choose whatever unit is further, like closer to you, and then you attack, shift, attack the other one, and that will then, if this kills this early, it will turn and try to shoot the other one. So that gives you the potential of getting a double kill here. So Legionati here, you're definitely going to want to swing this back to try to get some Panzerfaust on. Instead of using your Legionati to fight this Assault Pioneer, you need to kill these Wasps off, and you could swing these two recon vehicles back to help support. Right now, this Wasp push doing really well. His opponent is on Juggernaut, so technically he has a lot of advantage right now. JU-87 floating, there we go. So again, he should have queued the Humber, then gone and queued the Stuart up after that. This allows the JU-87 to get multiple kills in a single run, and it makes them 100 times more valuable. Legionati finishing off the Wasp there. That was nice. Hiding on the backside. But now he finally moves these over. These could have easily killed off all those Wasps without any loss of units at all. So something to be aware of. If you got these, if you have these, you know, these armored cars, you got to use them. JU-87 does have a machine gun. It's probably not going to shoot down the Oster, though. Martyr 3 just sitting here in like a random what it's doing position, not sure. So you might as well move it up into a more preparatory position to be able to push immediately or be defensive with it. Leaving things really far back like this IG-33 is doing absolutely nothing. Like this is a waste of a unit. And the IG-33s are really important for this left side. So having them over here on the right where he's not actually under that much pressure right now is not what you want to be doing. Martyr 3 in a really aggressive position. It does have an MG-34 and some good HE, but this is very tight for it. You just have to be aware of these situations. You want to have some sort of infantry spotting for it. It does spot okay for it, like better than the average tank for itself, but you still don't want to have to be reliant on that. Ju-87, so this BF-109 he called in for no reason at all. This is not a good strafer. Remember, if a unit doesn't have at least two 20 mils, then it's probably not strafing well at all. And now he's microed it into the bow first 40 mil. You always want to micro like purposely backwards first, so you would click, 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 and then swing around like that to manually turn the plane away from the AA. Again, not a great place for an off-glare. It's just really tight. I mean, it will spot stuff for you. It's not like it won't. Remember, Shermans always fire first, although somehow it lost sight. Oh, man, the Martyr missed horribly. That's unfortunate. That's just bad luck. But that Sherman returned the favor, so nothing to... Okay, missed twice now. That leader that he lost earlier would be really helpful. He probably should have brought in another one to replace it. He should still have some left. Yeah, he's got 3, and I think we've only seen 1, maybe 2. Yeah, MG-42 in a bad spot. This is not the unit to be pushing forward with. Now, we did see just now, I think he bought a second BF-109. Yeah, we can actually see it down here. That's a massive waste of points. There's no reason for that at all. Just to shoot down a recon plane, completely unnecessary. Just let the recon plane fly around and buy a piece of AA. Like, if you really want it dead, call in a piece of AA instead of a second fighter. One fighter is plenty. You generally don't need more than one fighter. Unless you are, like, full-on air spamming, one fighter is generally all you really need to have. Left the APCR on. Still takes out the Staghound, but took some suppression he didn't have to take. Now, this Volkdeutsche is not good at CQC. He knows there's stormtroopers here, so it would be much better to bring in one of his SS Legionati to support this unit coming in here. Because right now, this is a likely immediate dead push. Volkdeutsche as well over here, pushing forward unsupported. You have this SBW-222 right here. You can move it forward with. Now, you know the Sherman's here, so you probably actually should be backing this up into a slightly tighter line of sight, like right here, where the Sherman can't easily get at you. Also forgot a Volkdeutsche back here. You always want to check really quick at the beginning again to make sure all your units are moving. Just like a habit to build. Off-Claire needs to move in a spot that actually can see, because this is an easy place to sneak up. Definitely want to get the maximum amount of visibility. Double Pack 38 here is a little overboard. What 1 can't stop, 2 probably won't either. So he knows this Sherman is here, so one of those another Martyr 3, like this one sitting here doing nothing, would probably be really good. This is a good fight. Handgun at range versus Rifles Piat should be an easy win. Martyr 3's dropping the ball here today. No, 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 no. You're already in the fight. Either back straight up. Never do this. Do not. No, don't do this, guys. Back straight up. You're right at the edge of your range. All you need to do is drop back 10 meters and the unit's out of range. So don't ever, like, drive sideways like that. It's just opening you up for a whole lot of damage that you don't need. He just got lucky that the Sherman missed. No, no, no. Don't ever head on a Bofors with a fighter that does not even actually suppress very much. Yeah, he's risking some very expensive units here, flying over the opponent's line for no reason whatsoever. Get your fighters out. If they're not actively strafing something, just get them out. Eventually, you can, like, purposely try to waste ammo and stuff. Like, fine, it's a strat. It's a very long-winded and not super helpful strat, and it usually ends up costing you a 110-point fighter or 120-point fighter. You see a lot of move orders going on here. Not sure. I mean, he was using attack orders just fine. Now he's switched over to move orders. Not sure if he's that afraid of this unit getting caught. this is not a great plan because the Pack 38 is going to walk in like a straight line towards this unit until it gets to it. So it's not going to like maneuver itself into this little line of sight that he spotted here. So it's just better to like attack move over to here. Like do an attack move this way if he really wants to get at this Sherman really bad. But he's going to bring the Ju-87 in anyway, so yeah. So we see here exactly what I was talking about, the SS Legionary. It looks like he has auto cover off. I would strongly suggest to any new player not to turn auto cover off. It is helpful. It really truly is. It's extremely helpful. You can learn the micro of auto cover basically. Like when it's going to do it and stuff and work around it. So this is a great spot. Very nice position here to pick up some easy transport kills. His Stug 4s are a really strong tool here, and he's basically not using them enough. There's not a ton in 3rd Canadian that actually kills these things very well. So he should be leaning a little bit more into this unit. And that's just knowing the matchup, right? Shermans are basically their only tank. Wolverines are one of the only easy kills, along with like a 17-pounder kind of thing that can really kill these quickly. So, you know, you want to be using these. And we can see already how useful it's being. Wolverine will get a shot off. It will pen because it always does. Yeah, the second he saw this, he should have just stopped. Like, he saw what was going on. Yeah, now he's committed. Stug goes down. I'm not gonna lie, he's had some pretty bad luck with hits. He has not made many hits. So Legionari's here. He could just hop it right out of the building or hop it into this building next door and kill this Sherman. That would be ideal. You really got to always try to take advantage of these. Yeah, not that. Not what he's doing right now, because it's not going to come out of the building. It's going to wait. He needs to actually manually hop it into this building so that it should auto-target whatever the highest armored unit is, which is the Sherman. So he's left this thing strafing where the stormtroopers were. Something to remember. This Panzerfaust is missing every opportunity right now. And now instead he's calling a bomber basically on top of his AT unit. Remember, guys, if you have the tool right there, don't call in planes to do it for you. See, now he's pinned down his Legionati. And, like, the Panzerfaust fires really fast. He could have done that already with it. Again, this is why I wish he would have put the SS Legionati in B, so now he'd actually have some CQC here to push this, but instead he could call in some Sturm Pioneers, but he continues to throw Panzergrens over here. This is not where Panzergrens belong. They're long-range units. They don't fight well house to house. We see 2 SK-18s here. This is fine, but this is terrible. You don't ever put 2 RD pieces right next to each other like this. And on top of that, next to a reinforcing road. Everything about this is bad. You don't want to do this. This will get both your RD pieces killed in one counter battery, and it will get your transporting units, like your incoming reinforcements, hit for no reason as well. So, no. Spread them out. Like, you know, one here, one way over here, if that's what you want. Or way over here even. Get away from the transport road. Yeah, you definitely don't want. Now, moving both these so the Pack 4... Okay, you don't really want to walk AT guns into a killing position. They take too long to set up. You can see how long that takes to set up. Now, luckily for him, they're already shooting at the Panzergren. Also, once again, he left on the APCR, which for a Wolverine, he does not need APCR to kill the Wolverine. See, it would be dead otherwise. This Legionati is still sitting here, missing a golden opportunity. Now, anyway, AT guns are defensive units. They are not offensive units. So really, you don't want to be walking them into attack positions like this when you can avoid it. There's usually a better way to do it. Walking this Martyr 3 in is not a great idea either because it's open top, which means these units can throw grenades into this thing. Luckily for him, it was just out of range, so he ended up being all right. But again, a singular CQC unit like a Sturm Pioneer that he has in B or a SS Legionati would have done this job as well. See, this is where the Aufklär in this position would have been way more helpful to see all these units here. He needs to fall this back, so the moment your unit gets pinned, it's not doing anything anyway, fall it back. The Volkdeutsch in the woods, not preferable. This unit doesn't fight well here. So the SS Legionati should have been in the woods with the Volkdeutsch on the outside of the woods, the opposite of what he had. You see this player using 81mm mortars in a really bad spot. Is this guy going for a counter battery or what's he doing? No. This is good. Definitely want to use the SK-18s to counter this. Mortars are very killable. You do want to do that because mortars, we've already seen them be pretty effective. This player calling in 3 mortars in a Juggernaut deck in A phase is pretty nuts, actually. It's pretty, like, ballsy. Yeah, he needs to unload these things. The Kangaroo Rifles is a Piat. They have lots of machine guns, and now he's driving his Stug 4 into range of this. You just got to be aware, guys, of what units are in an area, right? If you know your opponent has AT units, like AT infantry, in an area, you have to be more cognizant about driving tanks into that area. And also, the BF-109 is just not a strafing fighter, okay? Like, it doesn't have enough weaponry. It's not worth risking your 110-point unit to do 1 to 2 damage against you, unless you are in a desperate position or you know it's good. Now, we see some hill pressing going on here. This is always just a shame. So what you have to do is manually tell it to move up the rest of the hill, and then it can finish off its targets. So we're almost at the end of B phase here. He's going to have his maximum advantage of income. We can see that he wasn't consistently calling in troops. So one thing, and we've seen me do it too, it happens to all of us, sitting on points is not winning you the game, right? You need to make sure that you are consistently calling units in. Martyr 3, he did finally micro it directly up the hill, so good for him there. And again, like all these Panzergrens, this is unload here on the edge of the hill and walk them up. The transports can easily die to any weapon in the game. So just unload them in a safe spot here and then walk them up instead of doing what he's doing, which is driving the transports up into the danger area to unload 50 meters closer. There's no reason, there's no benefit to that at all. So just unload on the edge of the hill here and then walk it up. See, this would be a place to bomb. So we saw that Ju-88 earlier. This would be the place to toss that little bombing strike. That would be value there. Panzergrens getting in close to this Stormtrooper, not what you want ever. Easy win for the Stormtrooper. Really no reason for that. After the SDKZ fires, you kind of want to move it, especially when you know your opponent has a whole lot of mortars. Move this unit all the time. Panzer Grenadier fighting Stormtroopers again, not ideal at all. He's really got to do better you really want to do better with choosing the right infantry for the right situation. And this is where a lot of newer players, they hop into the comments and they're like, my infantry suck, they get chewed up, I don't understand why my guys just seem to melt away, the AI gets buffs. They don't. It's when you send Panzergrens and stuff into the woods against Avtos and Stormtroopers and dedicated CQC units, they're gonna get absolutely slapped. That's the point of those units. The point of Panzer Grenadiers is to be further back, use their MG42s and stuff to slap hard at long range. That's what they're for. Like, so these 2 units here, either move them up to the edge of this woods or get them out of the woods altogether. There's really no benefit. He's not capturing a flag because of this. There we go. So we have some Sturm Pioneers. At this point, you might as well unload at the edge of the forest. So, like, don't unload here. Unload at the edge of the forest. We can see the Panzergrens are engaging at sub 100 meter range. Fall back. They'll never win. The second they're fighting at under 100 meter range, they're not going to win most fights. So no. Put him in the house. Put him in the house back here. Let him, like, secure your line and then make a fresh push forward. You want to avoid this thing, and we've seen me do it too, where you start piecemealing your reinforcements. You get them, you throw them in. You keep throwing them into the meat grinder. No. Take a second. Reestablish your line back here. Occupy a couple buildings. Building walk, hop up to here or something. Throw your 2 Sturm Pioneers that you have right here into the woods and then start poking around to clear it out. And then you can move, once the forest is cleared out, then you move your Panzergrens forward into this forest to then push into these buildings here. That's the way to walk this through. Also, you want to get some SPWs, which he has in B phase, the 231s in to help support this a little bit more from a distance so the Piats can't get on target. He only moved 1 Sturm Pioneer. He needs to move the other. This is a Ju-88 target. He has the Ju-88, so bombing right here would be incredibly useful. We can see how well this Sturm Pioneer immediately does. Like, this is what he needs to be doing. Leader needs to get out of this building on the side of the hill here or something. Get on return fire. He can't lose this leader. It's too valuable. He's going to lose it, but yeah, you can't be losing leaders like that. Stug 4 on an attack order again? No. Just attack move, guys, because now you can see, like, he's still targeted the Sherman, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure what that was all about. You want to make sure they just target one that they can actually shoot. So Ju-88 coming in, but not on a target. I don't suggest this because then it turns stupid ways. Yeah, see, like, yeah, no. There was a nice pile of soft targets right here that he knows about. There's no reason to be bombing a Sherman. You have a Ju-87 tank buster, you have Stug 4s. The targets of your precious bombers should not be tanks. You have plenty of ways to kill tanks. Your whole deck can kill their tanks. Your Stug 4s absolutely annihilate these things. They eat them for breakfast. This is the Stug 4's absolute phenomenal best matchup. What is this crap? Come on. It's of course because I'm saying that. The freaking Sherman pens at 1,000-meter range on the Stug 4. That's not bullcrap. No, you got to commit to this. The Stug 4 has 100 millimeters of armor. What in the hell? All right, that's some bullshit right there. Of course, because I'm saying it, it happens. But technically speaking, the Stug 4 should win this fight every single time. Except for this one, apparently. Ay. Sometimes I swear this game. Literally, it's just trying to make me look like a jack-A. Now, this is a nice little aggressive push. He could have easily cleared this stormtrooper out, though, first. He knew it was here, so like he could have done that and then driven through pretty easily. SBW-231 needs to fall this back. It's no longer in a good position, especially now with the Martyr 3 dead. Although this can kill Stuarts, with 3 Stuarts here, your SBW doesn't really have a chance, and is losing armor for not a very good reason here. The Arty at this point would be much better to target this 40 mil here. I still can't believe this Stug died to that. That was such baloney. It was not turned. Like, so this was front armor. I cannot understand why that just happened. Like, not to just get 1 penetration, but 2. But he still should have committed. Like, once you're in that fight, falling back, it's too late. You can't get out of line of sight, so you're just taking unnecessary hits, especially when it comes to tanks like a Stug that need to, like, sit still to fire. This is definitely bad. These can't shoot at anything. They need to get into tighter places. Yeah, this is a target. If he fires all 4 of these at one of these Stuarts, he can kill it. So a Stug here would be much better. There's nothing here that technically can kill it. I have to say technically now every time because, of course, that Sherman killed that Stug 4. But again, if we're working in the bounds of normal play where, you know, a Sherman severely struggles to kill a Stug 4 at 1,000-meter range, you know, that would be an ideal position. He's very lucky this SDK has not been targeted at all because it's been doing a lot of work. This is an interesting push. Don't hate it. This is a good thing to do. Poke different places. This is where he probably should have worked a little bit more over here before. There was opportunity here in the first place. There we go. SK-18's targeting the Beauforts. Very good. That's what you want to be doing. APCR is still on the Pack 40. Needs to turn that off. Needs to get in the habit of turning that off. I am of the mindset, unless you need to have it to penetrate something, it should probably be off. Some people would disagree with me, and I understand, but I think in a lot of situations it ends up screwing you. A lot more than it helps you in those other situations. So yeah, this is a fallback. You can try to swing around here to keep it alive. Now the double team is nice. You are getting some side shots going here. But the other one's not even shooting this thing. Wow, he actually caused a fallback. All right. I like the double team. Nice play there. Ju-88 going to bomb it again, though. I'm not sure why he feels the need to try to do this. It's not the unit for it. He's got Ju-87 right here if he really wants to try that. Like, that bomber right here would be far more useful. Pin this down, clear it out, easy cap this flag. A lot better use of your Ju-88. These SPWs are slapping right now. Like, they're doing it. They're doing the work. Is he going to get a free priest out of this, too? Oh, Nebelwerfer, okay. See, like, why bring in the Ju-87 if you're hitting it with a Nebelwerfer right now? SBO 233 going to die here. Hill Pression. The 231 should poke forward to kill this. You need to move your rocket artillery after every single salvo. Like, after you fire, you shift and then click on the transport, and then after it fires, it'll immediately load up into the transport and then move the transport to a new position. See, if you had bombed this Ju-88, like right here in this corner, he would have this flag already. There we go. Finally pushing forward here. Stupid hill pressure. There we go. Very nice on that. That's the way. Yeah, I think he's confused as to why this isn't doing anything. Hill pressure, man. It's a B. Hill pressure is a witch. So, right about now, Juggernaut should be equaling the income. He really needs to pick up a 15-9 here. 14 minutes, a long time to survive against Juggernaut in C-Phase, where the dude almost has 100 more points than you. All right, there's a fresh push over here. Luckily for him, his opponent's not paying attention because these Priest DDs could absolutely tear these Pack 38s apart. A simple ground attack would do it. Actually, this Pack 38's easy to see. There we go. Now it's easy. Yeah, there's like no recon on these Humbers. Looks like he was going to be dead. Wow. Both missed. Oof. Oh, losing the Alpha Flare sucks. Yeah, now he needs to fall back immediately. This is no longer a tenable position. Okay, I mean, his units are standing right here. They're going to get pinned down unless he backs them up further. Oh, more off map. Don't we love this? Nice push over here. But again, he's not using any SS Legionati. He brought them in C. He's got CQC units. If you're going to be doing this house-to-house fighting thing, SS Legionati are fantastic with their Molotovs and Berettas. Okay, not bad. Picking up his 15-9, very nice. Now that he sees this, he's definitely going to want to get these infantry into a better position, like these two buildings, to actually cover at the same time in this building. Spread these guys out. The 2-3-1's in a useless spot. Needs to go somewhere a little bit better, I think. All right, there he goes. Oh, there it is again. More off-map fun. Stug 4 in a good spot here. Oh, this is still happening. Okay. This, not a good idea. This is a bad idea. I mean, he does know that this is relatively safe, but there could still be a Vickers or something in here. Sherman pops out, whatever. I would just move it up to here. This position gives you no more benefit. I mean, I guess you kind of cover off the reinforcing road a little, but really not that much with the range of the Pack 40 at the end of the day. So just having it here, where it covers off this reinforcement road instead, would be better. Also, he's pushing the Volkdeutsch up too far. Yeah. Again, the refusal to use CQC infantry in CQC positions is hurting him a lot. Also, the lack of recon, the questionable placement of some of those Alpha Flares so they died, he now has no recon, is killing him too. And ooh, that APCR. So Stug 4 is still alive. Sees a lot of armor here that he could target. Pack 38, that's a good call. Coming in a little too far though, probably wants to be a little further back. J87, yeah, it's too late, yeah. And now the 50 cals will pin it. So now it's a 12-12. So now he's on the back foot. This is getting worse. Honestly, at this point, it's better just to commit to holding this flag. Like, you're not trying to gain more flags here. You're just trying to hold this one. So put a dude right here in this nice safe spot and just enjoy holding this flag with the 1311. And commit your troops to something more useful, like fighting over in this town or actually getting this flag here. That would be a lot better use of these resources. So like when you get to this point with your aggressive deck where you're in C phase and, you know, your non-aggressive opponent now has the advantage. At this point now, you have to be very selective about where to attack, and especially if you already have an advantage. So he has a 13-11. His job now is basically just to defend. He wants to he's got to meat grind his opponent out. He just got to grind him into the dust. You have to set up good defensive lines and make your opponent come to you. You don't have the resources anymore to actually make good pushes, so it's going to be really hard to actually get more flags. Unless it's these situations here where you can kind of poke forward with 1 or 2 units and grab something, then certainly by all means do that. But like in terms of this flag that's way back here defended by a ton of buildings, this is not what you want to be doing. Also, there's too much, like, this is at least attack move it if you're going to do this. But, like, this doesn't actually benefit all that much. You can put it right here and get a much better line of sight. Like, this actually does nothing, and this is fantastic. Okay, not a bad choice here to try to open up this flag for him. That's not a bad choice. Unfortunately, he's walking his own units into this Nebelwerfer strike. Pack 40 still has APCR on again. Ooh, something got that. Oh, it was this. Whatever this is. Wolverines. SDKZ should push forward now. Now that he sees this threat, he's got to save himself. Finally, actually go. Okay, yeah. So again, SS Legionary. He knows what he's running into here is a close range unit. I think he bought another plane. No, not in C phase when you're trying to hold on to ground. Like, this is the time to be bringing in infantry, gumming up the ground. You're trying to make it as hard as possible for the opponent to work through your troops. So planes, another 110-point plane is not worth it. It's not where your points belong if you're playing this sort of aggressive deck. This is what the balanced player, Juggernaut player gets to do in C phase, is call extra planes in, use their excess income for this sort of thing, and still push. You as the Maverick player don't have that luxury anymore. Yeah, this needs to spread out. This is one bombing strike away from losing everything. Hello, Volkdeutsch. They're very confused. SS Legionati finally here, but not really fighting at their ideal range after all of this. This is where the Panzergren would be good. So he really needs to work on flipping his infantry usage. He's using a lot of long-range units to fight at close range and a lot of close-range units to fight at long range. You have to be very purposeful in how these units get used, because the game is not rock, paper, scissors, shoot, but there is a very real, like, long-range units are for long range, short range CQC are for CQC. Like, you got to put the units in the positions that they actually can be successful. When you throw units that are designed for long range into a forest, they're not gonna do well. They're gonna die, and they're gonna be sitting there thinking, "Why do my infantry suck?" They don't. You're just using them, and you're not using them to their optimal efficiency. This is good. Actually, having some recon here. There we go. This is what he needed to be doing. Finally clears this out. He's gonna pick up another 15-9 here. That's fantastic. This push with the Nebelwerfer ended up working out, so that was a nice supported push. You need some defense here. The Jagdpanzer IV is good, but you don't want it really close, because then the Wolverines get to be more efficient. So it needs to sit further back. Okay, you want to try to spread them out, right? You don't want them unloading in the same position. We see him doing this a lot. Spread your reinforcement unloads out. So, like, if I was going to call in a whole bunch of guys to this woods here, I wouldn't just call all three right here. I would go here, 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 like across. That way they're already pre-spread out, so when I want to make an attack then, I already have some spacing in there. Good. At this point, you're going to want to hide one of the infantry behind a building, like right here, to hold the flag for sure if something horrible goes wrong, right? So you have a chance of holding, no matter what. Shug 4 is not in a great spot here. At least sit them further back. This is too close. It's going to get them killed by any number of Piats, Shermans, or whatever. At this, yeah, so it's easy to find side shots when you're in these bad spots. Like, so the Stug does not belong in here. Should be on the edge at most. You just have to remember what your tanks are good at. Like, Axis armor tends to be better at longer ranges, not at close. Just Axis everything tends to be better at longer ranges. Allied everything tends to be better at close range. Again, that's a very big generality, but it doesn't mean it's not true. So you just have to be a little bit more cognizant of where units are. Now, he should have queued up the first Sherman and then shift-click the next one, because he probably could have killed both of these, or at least damaged the second one. This one just got suppressed from this one getting shot. Now he's got to wait for this to swing all the way around. So it does look like even after 38 minutes, he's going to pull this one out. So GG to him. There is some really good stuff here. The micro, in terms of his like actual micro, there are some good things. He's falling back very quickly. He is reacting and moving stuff around. That's great. Well, we could definitely use some more movement of back units, such as the SDK of Z. Careful about placement of Artie, that it's not in dangerous places, but he was using it, and that's fantastic. I mean, these are key units to supporting push. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the game, he called in 1 Nebelwerfer. You don't need 3. There's no real situation where you're calling 3 Nebelwerfers in a Maverick deck. I don't even think you have the points to make it possible, along with all your other things you're calling in. So, great. Some good micro. There was some good airplay here, taking advantage of the fact that the opponent didn't really have AA and for some reason did not commit to having more Bofords over here, which is really weird. You know, so good play from that. Some nice pushes. Like, he made several like random pushes into empty areas that really panned out well for him. That's definitely something you want to be doing to take advantage of your opponent's defenses and to force them to deploy other places, especially when your opponent's playing a very defensive income like Juggernaut. They're not going to have that many troops out. So there's going to be holes that you can take advantage of, and then the opponent has to deploy their already limited resources to those holes. So it's very important to poke around to find those things. It can be really helpful. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful for all of you guys. The reason I want to post these on YouTube is because I think the best way to get better is to, you know, have this kind of feedback and stuff. And of course, it's hard to get that. So hopefully these are some of the things you guys can use to improve yourself as well. I know that was a lot of information. If you're new, make sure to go back, watch some spots, check out some things. Again, I'm just trying to get as much into that as possible to both help my Patreon out and help you guys out there as well. And if you guys really enjoy this content, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, join the Steel Division 2 fun, and consider checking out that Patreon link down below. If you love my channel, you want to support, or you want to do this, you want this to happen for you, make sure to go check that out. Thank you to all my current and past Patreons. It really does mean a lot. I really appreciate it. Thanks a bunch, everyone, and I hope you have a fantastic day.